Top off my mug, darling. Leave the soldier talk to the real warriors. The man at booth 6 smirked as he said it. Half a joke, half a dismissal. The young server only smiled, placing the coffee pot down gently. But when a Navy SEAL stepped through the door, his eyes locked on her. He tilted his head slightly and spoke 3 words. Booth 6, Black Viper. In an instant she shoved the table over, pinning the customer beneath it. Just as his hand emerged from a bag under the seat, the cafe froze in stunned silence. Who had trained a waitress to move like that? Someone muttered. Black Viper. For those who understood the code, nothing else was needed. Meet Maya Torres, 32 years old. Black hair tied back clean and tight. Sharp, watchful eyes. Currently wearing an apron. At Ray's Diner in San Diego. To everyone she was only the efficient girl with a notepad. But few knew that Maya had once been an intelligence officer. Expert at infiltration and human asset gathering. Working alongside special operations teams worldwide. A mission gone wrong had ended her career, leaving her hidden in plain sight. Ray's Diner sat only blocks from the naval base. Sailors, SEALs, Marines all dropped in for meals. Maya blended among them with practiced ease. Friendly, polite, always remembering details. Nobody guessed she had once worn a cover identity in the deadliest cities on Earth. That afternoon she filled in on an extra shift. Her uniform simple, white shirt, apron. Her tools only a tray and an order pad. The lunch rush had died down, leaving the quiet hum of regulars, coffee sippers and pie lovers. Maya moved between tables with precision. Her motions clean, measured, efficient. The kind of rhythm customers assumed came from years of restaurant work. More coffee, dear? She asked Mrs. Patterson, a retired schoolteacher, who stopped by every Tuesday for apple pie. And her usual complaint, that the neighborhood wasn't what it used to be. You're such a good girl, Mrs. Patterson said, patting her hand. I wish my grandson would find a normal one like you. Maya smiled politely. A waitress's smile. But something deeper stirred in her eyes. Normal. If only the woman knew how far from ordinary Maya's life had been. The diner's proximity to the base was no accident. Maya had chosen the job carefully, so she could remain near the military world, while staying invisible inside it. Observing, listening, keeping her instincts alive. Without ever admitting to herself, she hadn't truly let go. Among her regulars, Chief Rodriguez, who ordered turkey clubs and cursed paperwork. Lieutenant Morrison, who studied exams over endless coffee refills. Sergeant Williams, who lured new recruits with promises of real chow. Maya knew their unit's schedules, families. Not because she needed to, but because her survival instincts never faded. Ray Martinez, the owner, a retired Navy cook, called from behind the counter. Maya, booth 6 is looking empty. She nodded, taking the pot of coffee. Booth 6 held Derek Harrison, a civilian contractor with base access. He had been coming in for half a year. Always loud, always crude. Quick to belittle the staff. Maya tolerated him professionally. Yet her gut never fully trusted him. Unknown to her, Harrison had already come under suspicion. NCIS had flagged irregular finances, and his access raised red flags about weapons deals. Maya approached with the coffee pot, noting the tension in his posture, his restless eyes scanning exits. His phone checked again and again. Her instincts stirred, danger signs. She buried them, but couldn't ignore them fully. As she poured his coffee, he gave his usual condescending jab. "Soldier talk is for men, sweetheart." Maya didn't react. Just poured steadily. The door opened and in walked Daniel Cross, Chief Petty Officer SEAL Team 7. Broad-shouldered black t-shirt. He scanned the diner, saw her. Recognition flickered. He approached booth 6, leaned low, and said it quietly. "Black Viper, booth 6. Her heart tightened at the code. An emergency signal used when an immediate threat appeared among civilians. Her eyes snapped back to Harrison. His hand was reaching down not for his wallet, but for a hidden bag. She glimpsed steel, a pistol grip. And then training took over. Coffee pot set down smoothly. Feet shifting back. 3 seconds to act. With explosive force, she flipped the table. Wood crashing into Harrison's chest. His weapon sliding across the floor. Dishes shattering, glass scattering. The diner fell silent. All eyes turned to her. Daniel was already moving. Scooping up the weapon. SIG sour in hand. Held low to avoid panicking customers. "Stay down," he barked at Harrison. The voice of command unshakable. Maya stood balanced, controlled. Eyes sweeping the room. Checking if Harrison was alone. Civilians sat frozen in disbelief. Mrs. Patterson clutching her purse. A young couple debating flight or cover. Ray emerged from the kitchen. Took one look and reached for the phone. "NCIS is on the way," he called. His military habits showing. Harrison struggled under the table. But Maya's presence had shifted. The waitress mask gone. What remained was unmistakable. A professional operative. Every diner guest could feel it. Minutes later, base security rushed in. And soon after, NCIS agents took Harrison into custody. Daniel offered the explanation. The man was under surveillance. A suspected arms trafficker. Black Viper was an action code. Only those tied to Operation K-Bar would recall. And Maya had been their human intelligence asset. Years earlier in Yemen. Her information had saved his team. He had thought she was still out there, running missions. Seeing her in an apron said otherwise. But when the code was spoken, her instincts had ignited instantly. NCIS agent Sarah Chen arrived. She studied the scene with trained eyes. Questioned Maya with pointed precision. Maya's language betrayed her training. Threat indicators, positioning, accessibility. It wasn't how waitresses talked. It was how intelligence officers debriefed. Daniel stepped in. "This needs a secure room." Soon Maya sat in a conference space on base. Her file reopened. Operation K-Bar reviewed. Her role confirmed. Embedded intelligence asset. Who had built networks in denied zones. Her exit from the field traced back to a compromise beyond her control. Assets killed. Cover shredded. Her own choice to vanish into civilian life. Agent Chen listened carefully, noting that Maya had never truly been cut loose. Her clearances had quietly been kept alive. Daniel vouched for her, saying her networks had saved lives, and that her absence had left lasting gaps. Harrison's arrest sealed the truth. Maya's civilian disguise was blown, and the question hung in the air. Would she remain hidden, or step back into service? "I need time," Maya said. But everyone knew her choice was already narrowing. Word spread across the base about the waitress who overturned a table. SEALs began stopping in more often. Not loudly. Just with respectful nods. One night Daniel left a patch. Black Viper on silver. Ray hung it near the register. No explanation offered. But the military men who saw it understood. And treated Maya with a quiet reverence. Ray told her softly one evening. I don't know your past and I don't need to. But your family here as long as you stay. The patch became a silent code of respect. Military regulars addressed her as M. And her conversations with customers shifted. Less casual, more deliberate. An unspoken acknowledgement of her past. Chief Rodriguez told her during lunch. People know what you did. And they honor it. Similar words echoed from others. Their gratitude cautious but genuine. Maya herself changed too. The hypervigilance she used to hide was no longer a burden. It was expected here. The line between waitress and operative blurred. Serving coffee was now part of a mission. Ray's diner had become her post. The military community her team. She lived between two worlds seamlessly. Agent Chen visited often. Sometimes for coffee. Sometimes for quiet debriefs. Using Maya's observations to strengthen cases. The letter from the Department of Defense arrived. Offering her return. Signed with endorsements from those she had saved. She carried it in her apron pocket. A silent reminder. That she still had a choice. Her narration lingered in her mind. Once you hear certain signals, you can never unhear them. When Daniel said Black Viper, I wasn't in a diner anymore. I was back in a safe house with seconds to act. I don't wear rank or insignia now. But I carry the instinct to shield others. The diner became my station. Coffee mugs my cover. Customers my assets. Mrs. Patterson's chatter now potential intel. Lieutenant Morrison's exams the next generation's future. The Black Viper patch hung quietly. A symbol understood without words. Daniel's visits grew steady. His presence both comfort and reminder. That her service never truly ended. The waitress and the agent had become one. Maya Torres. Agent Rivera. Same woman, different uniform. Still serving, still protecting. In her own way. Subscribe Apple Cheats. If you believe duty isn't something you retire from. It's the choice you make. Every time danger enters the room.